Hello, Vanderbilt. My name is Charles Jacob Sugg III, but you can just call me Bud Sugg. I'm from Franklin, Tennessee, and this is my second semester at Vanderbilt and my second semester in the program Next Steps. I really love it. It's taught me a lot of new skills, and this is budcast, one of my new skills. Welcome to budcast episode 7. I am joined here by Vanderbilt University police officer Greg Robinson. Hello, Greg.
Hello, Bud. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing very well, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, and I think I'm headed on to what you're about to ask. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois, born and raised on the west side of Chicago. Attended Oral High School, which is on the west side. Attended Tennessee State University, received my bachelor's degree. Played baseball at Tennessee State. I was fortunate to have a pretty good career. And I've been here basically since 1978. I've resided in Nashville, Tennessee since then.
What is it like up there in Chicago?
To a lot of people, Chicago is a tremendous place, and it is. As far as visiting, I hear people all the time talking about they wouldn't have anywhere else to go. But for me, it's a little different. I grew up in a very rough side of town, lived there the first 18 years of my life, so a lot of my memories aren't so great. I still have family there, and I love to go visit my family. But other than that, when I go home to Chicago, I don't usually stay too long.
All right. Now, you mentioned earlier that you are a police officer. How long have you done this, and what exactly do you do?
I've been a police officer now for going into my 28th year. Previous, I've been here at Vanderbilt for 5 years. I'm the major over the campus precinct. Previous to Vanderbilt Police, I was at Metro Police for 23 years in a number of different capacities. Majority of my 23 years I spent in some type of investigations, either being criminal investigation or background investigation. But 20 of my 23 years was in some type of investigative field.
If you had to say, what was the craziest investigation you ever had to go through?
Wow. A lot of those investigations that I did, sir, were extremely confidential. I ended my career in the sex crimes unit, and some of those were unbelievable. And because some of them involved juveniles, we can't, elaborate on a lot of those things. But I would say some of my sex crimes investigations were some of the wildest I had ever encountered.
Why did you want to be a police officer?
That's an interesting question. Growing up in Chicago, I really wasn't that fond of the police. I grew up in a neighborhood that was riddled with trouble, and law enforcement really didn't have a good relationship with individuals that in my side of town. What changed my mind was we were playing football, and some of the gang members had jumped on the bus and was robbing everybody on the bus, and some officers got on the bus and confronted some of those gang members and really saved our lives. That really changed my view of some of the things. And also, my uncle was a security guard in Chicago, and he got killed in a tavern next door to our church. A combination of those two changed my view on what law enforcement were doing.
Well, sorry to hear about your uncle.
Oh, thank you.
What would a student have to go through if he or she wanted to be a police officer?
The first thing would be to file an application. Oftentimes, we're on the vanderbilt.edu website. Then you can go to jobs and then employment and look for those availabilities. We tell any applicant, but our students, and in fact, we have 3 or 4 Vanderbilt graduates that are on our police department now. One of our majors is a Vanderbilt graduate. We have an officer that works in the medical center. that's a Vanderbilt graduate. We have a lieutenant that attended Vanderbilt for a long period of time. So we love the relationship between Vanderbilt, the police department, and students. And that's one of the things we continue to try to build on as relationships with our students. But what a student would have to do just to apply, have been someone who hasn't been in trouble, because we do very extensive backgrounds, and just have a very, very open mind and a varied attitude to be a community servant.
What do you find most rewarding about your job, and what do you find most challenging?
Most rewarding, I would have to say, would be the thank yous. This is a job that is oftentimes thankless. We are called upon most times in people's toughest moments. So when they see us, it's not at their highest point. It's at a point where they're really in need. And we wear so many hats. So many hats do we wear. And oftentimes it's thankless. So when we get a thank you, that's a good thing for me. We like to. That's something that shows that we've really gone out to do our job and what we swore to do, uphold and protect. And when we get thanks, that goes a long way.
Now, every month there is a siren test. What's the whole purpose of this test?
Well, I would say the siren test is for operational value, but also maintenance, to be assured that the sirens are workable and audible enough to be heard by the individuals that need it for the safety concerns that are going to be involved when these things are brought forth. And then the maintenance, to assure that they are working how they're supposed to be working when they say they're working. Because if they aren't audible enough, they aren't working in the capacity, then they don't serve the purpose of warning people. So this is just a maintenance thing, an operational thing for us to be assured that everything is working in the manner that they should be.
Now, all across campus, there are blue sirens. How many are there exactly?
Not blue sirens. We have blue lights. They're called the blue light
lights.
phones. And on campus, now, overall, with Medical Center and 100 Oaks, we have, I think, 279. On campus, we have 131 at this particular point that we have. And they're, we call them for emergency purposes, but they're just a purpose of a need. If a student needs the police, either they can pick up the ones that don't have the button to push for call, just pick it up and go straight to a dispatcher. A dispatcher will be on the other end and begin asking questions to find your location. Well, the location comes up automatically as well. It'll say blue phone may be in front of our, let's say the one in front of our police station. There's blue phone number 102, which is located 111 28th Avenue South. A dispatcher will dispatch an officer to the location where the person has picked the phone up, so we can be there to give them whatever assistance they end up looking for. And then the blue lights are so illuminated, so if you're running, you need somewhere to get help quickly, they're easily seen. So you can run there for safety and pick up the phone and get a police dispatch to you.
Now, there have been a lot of police movies who have come out in theaters. What is your favorite and what is your least favorite?
Captain, you may want to explain. I don't really watch a lot of police movies. I tell you, I do like some of the NCIS things. I guess being an investigator, you look at some of the investigatory aspects that they're putting into play. You know, again, but their movies, some of the things aren't realistic. But I'm really not a police movie fan. Some of the, as far as TV shows, I like SVU, Special Victims Unit, because that was a lot of what I did with the Sex Crimes Unit. But of course, some of the tactics that they do, law enforcement don't always do. But again, it's TV. So,
who would be your biggest influence at being a police officer?
my mother. And again, I never had any idea that I would be a police officer. But my mother would be my biggest influence because she taught me so much about life. She taught me how to treat people. She taught me how not to be treated. And I thought by going into this particular field, I can use what I was taught to be of value to individuals that would run into in the community. So my mom would be my biggest person.
That's always good advice.
Mm-hmm.
Treat others the way you want to be respected.
That's the easiest way to succeed. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. What do you envision the future of VUPD 5 to 10 years from now?
I envision it to be tremendous growth as it's doing right now. We're a very progressive police department. We're a police department that is tremendously concerned about the Vanderbilt community. 5 to 10 years, we will still be concerned, but probably in a more futuristic way, more electronic devices, things like that. Again, you can never get away from the community service aspect and the help aspect. With more officers, continued training, that's specialized training for Vanderbilt only, those things that we're going to continue to expand upon. We have right now 91 police officers. One of the things that we think that differentiates us from any other campus police department is that we specifically train for Vanderbilt University, and that's been an asset to us at this point.
Now, I know that there are a lot of students out there who are still trying to figure out what they want to do as a profession. What advice would you give to students who are pursuing a career as a police officer?
One of those things, easily just be open-minded, be very, very versatile. Law enforcement, again, I spoke earlier, we wear so many hats. You have to have the open mind is that when someone is giving us reporting a crime, you have to have the open mind as to the fact that I haven't gotten anything to collaborate this yet. So I go into the fact that, hey, I won't make any decision on what's happening until the facts lead me there. I won't draw a conclusion that it didn't happen, nor will I draw a conclusion that it has happened. But we let the facts make that decision for us. So with that, have someone that must be open-minded, versatile enough to have passion, but be compassionate as well. Because when I spoke about wearing a lot of hats, we're lawyers, we're mediators, we're counselors. You hear so many things, and so many things being brought upon that you have to make quick decisions. But some of those quick decisions are life-changing. So you have to be open-minded and varied. I would say that. And also, we don't have that trouble here, but, have a clean record. Law enforcement, it leads people to go into schools to be attorneys and things like that. And they look at the background. The backgrounds are very, very important when you're looking to go into criminal justice. Because your credibility is very important. And someone who may have had some minor things on their record may have trouble being credible in court. Mm-hmm. So just keep a clean slate and be upstanding. And we all make mistakes, but just learn from those and be better people because of those mistakes we make.
All right. Well, thank you for your time over here. And that's it for the interview.
Thank you so much. Captain, you have anything you want to say? Appreciate it so much, sir.
No problem.
Okay, thank you.
This is Bud Sugg. Thank you for listening. Tune in next week for a new version of budcast. Thank you.